the oldest of the family.
And you're right, Tom.
Yeah. So Tom, you had tough times them times.
There was surely tough times. Surely. There was surely.
Did you have to do many chores for the headmaster? Bringing in the firewood or...
We had indeed. We used to have to bring a load of turf and things to the school. Just the custom in them times.
Were the teachers tough them things? Severe on the cane?
The war, some of them now, the war, surely. Yeah, the war.
The children weren't that bold them times.
The war?
They weren't bold them.
Well, the war now. The war bold. The war bold. Your mother here, when she'd be teaching, like, if anyone came to the school, and she had to go out to talk to them, they'd all children take over, like, and begin acting like they...
Acting the maggot?
Well, just, a man said after that was very bad discipline on children, like, to be at that, like, no.
So you're looking forward to meeting all people from around here for the next couple of days?
I will, surely.
Yeah. So you're feeling good yourself?
Oh, great now. I'll be 80 years again Valentine's Day.
80 again?
80. Aye.
Well, you're only 81, so you're 80.
Oh, no, I'll be 80 again Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's, yeah.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
You're great stuff.
Well, not bad. There was a Mrs. Kennedy, she lived there beside the school, like. That's before ever your mother started school, like. And there was a Mary Kennedy, did you ever hear tell of them?
No.
Mary Kennedy, she lived above the school there at the bridge, like. And the children used to be going up, like, and they'd be rising her, like, and she'd be coming down. And we had Mrs. Gallagher, like, and she'd be baiting the school, like, baiting the things at the school, like.
Right.
And that sort of a way, like. And there was going to be a concert one time, and Mrs. Gallagher was going to have it, like. And there had to be flowers brought up to Mrs. Kennedy's house. And they were in on the broke curtain bushes at the back of the house, like. And she was very mad about it, like.
I know, she would be mad.
Aye. She said she didn't mind if the curtains had to be taken without breaking the bushes.
That was desperate, yeah.
That was, like.
Wasn't all. Well, look, thanks for talking, Tom.
Yes.
Nice to have you in the old video.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes, thanks very much.
Sister.
That's that.
That's that. Now we'll get some other one now.
Yeah.
be hospitalised, and we're absolutely You know, in Glostermin we always felt we were on the fringe of the parish, and we didn't have enough men to have a football team, at least in my days. James Wren was the only other person in my class, so that's it. Anyway, we just had one teacher, as all of you know, and we had small numbers in the school, but still we felt there was enough energy and enthusiasm and goodwill there to get up and get our own show on the road, and that's what today is about. But today would not have happened, or couldn't be possible at all, if all of you people hadn't responded so generously when you got your initial letter inviting you to come along here and be part of this gathering. And thank you for coming. I'm not going to go on waffling any longer because I'm now going to hand over to our chairman, Frank Guckey, to take the show to the next stage. Over to you, Frank.
As a past pupil at Glostermin School, I'd like to welcome you all to our school reunion this weekend. Glostermin School opened in the year 1900 and it closed just 30 years ago. In its 70 years, 419 pupils entered through its door and sat on the long hard seats. Unknown to our young minds, we are acquiring the skills and knowledge which has served us all so well here and all over the world. I think we can truly say that we were privileged to have experienced the quality of teaching we got in Glostermin School from Mrs. Wren, who taught there for 39 years, from 1931 to 1970. She is the only former teacher still with us, and she has enjoyed many years of retirement. Unfortunately, she has been very ill in the recent weeks, but she was very eager to meet her past pupils, and we are delighted to have her with us today. I think it only right and fitting that we acknowledge her tremendous skill and dedication in equipping us so well for life. Equally, we remember and acknowledge the contributions of Mrs. Anne Murphy, Mrs. Sue Rourke, Mrs. Marion Masterson, and Mrs. Mary Morahan, who taught in Glostermin School in the early years. 118 students who attended Glostermin School are still alive, and the vast majority of them are with us today. We welcome you and your family members who have come with you, and to those that couldn't make it, we wish them health and happiness. Today's celebration comes at the end of just 8 months preparation, and the tremendous burden out today makes that all worthwhile. It doesn't seem like 8 months since we had our first meeting, and I think that reflects on the energy and good humour of our committee. Our committee of 10 spanned the life of Glostermin School. Our senior member, Mary Kate Doherty, that's Mrs. Haney, had the distinction of being taught by 4 of the 5 teachers who taught in the school. Unfortunately, due to illness, Mary Kate was unable to be with us for the last couple of meetings, but thankfully she is able to be with us today. I would like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to her enormous contribution she made to our committee. I would like to send her and our teacher, Mrs. Wren, and any other past pupil or members of their family that might not be in good health, our prayers and best wishes. I would also like to thank our other committee members, our hard-working secretary, Mary Don Mr. Helen Keegan, John Patrick Monaghan, Sissy Welsh, Angela Rinn, and Frankie Murphy. All our meetings were held in Hughie Keegan's, so I would like to thank Hughie and Mary Bridget for their hospitality during the last 8 months. Thank Mary Bridget for the apple tarts and cake she cooked for us. Couldn't bake enough for them. Doyle and the Board of Management of Fina School for the use of the school. Mrs. Sheena Cooney, the principal of the school, was most helpful in providing us with roll books and registers. I would like to thank John McGarden, who will launch our centenary magazine here today. Our contributors, our advertisers, local businesses who made financial contributions, and to you, the past pupils, who have been so generous. Our exhibition of all items has added greatly to our visit to the past. Thanks to all who made it possible. Finally, I hope everyone enjoys the weekend and the remainder of your holidays. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much, Frank. Frank was a very retiring chairman. He never wanted to take any leadership role, but he never shied away from the work. And he kept us on course during the past 8 or 9 months in his own inimitable way when we might have taken off in flights of fancy elsewhere. But he was well-rounded, had his eye on the goal and what we were about and what this weekend was about, and when we had to get our work in for every meeting he turned into, along with all the other boys here behind me and the girls. He had an extra little story and a yarn about things that happened in Glostermin. Not all, I might say, accurate or true. He embellished them quite a bit. And we got many a laugh in the process. But Frank, we're truly grateful to you. Thank you for taking on this. Now, our committee felt that we should really avail or hear the words of wisdom of some of the more senior members of our past pupils. And the Conifrey family from Dunera, I hope I have it right, but it's not Laura, were well represented in Glostermin. In fact, from 1911, I think 14 Conifreys passed through the doors of Glostermin School. So I think it's only right and fitting that one of that family should speak to us today. We are delighted to have so many of the Conifreys here with us still, and now I'm going to hand over to Josie Conifrey for his words of wisdom. Over to you, Josie.
Every man that's on the talking, when it's put to you, you can't say that much. But we have great memories of Gloucester, but I always think, I love telling the story. There was one thing I looked forward to in Gloucester, and that was the Christmas party. And I used to be nominated with this bicycle. I used to love it. Miss Ward, or she wasn't Mrs. Wren then, she'd give me the bike to go to Freddie Quinn's to get the gallon of sweets and the Barney bracket to bring it back for the Christmas party. Well, I got the thrill of my life getting on that good bike. It was like getting into a Concorde now, you know. And I remember a funny experience. I always had to go to the priest with a letter the same day. Now, don't ask me what it was for. But I remember on another occasion she asked me to post a letter for her in Burton's, in Foxfield. So I went in to post a letter on P. Burton, all the way to heaven of them all, they're all gone. He asked me what my name was, and I told him, and there was some affinity between my mother and him. And he brought me in and gave me a mug of tea and a Barney bracket. This is coming up for Christmas. So these are the memories that we live with. But forgetting about those things, they were the simplest days of my life and most beautiful. When I went to school, there was a big buyer above a Penny Murphy's. I sat inside in the buyer waiting until Miss Ward came to open the school. And in those days, there was about 20, if not 30, swallows' nests along the eaves of the school. Now, some of the older members remember
go back to the day we got the Christmas holidays when Mrs. Wren arrived with a gallon of sweets, and we all got our little packet going home. I'm sure in those days they were wrapped up in newspaper, I imagine, and we were delighted to get it. And, you know, that gallon went on and did great work in Wren's household later. Long before the word recycling was part of our vocabulary, I do know that those sweet gallons were used to make puddings in Wren's and to feed all the hungry mouths that were there as well. So the Wrens were into recycling before the rest of us knew what it meant. Thank you very much again, Josie. We're honoured to have you here with us. Thank you. And, you know, when we were working together during the year, we talked quite a bit about the number of people that emigrated, had to emigrate. There was very little employment around here in the 50s and the 60s. And a lot of our past pupils have travelled to different parts of the world, to the United States and Canada and Barbados, England, the Isle of Wight. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. I don't think we have anybody in Africa or Australia, but that's quite a large spread. So we did feel that perhaps, you know, we should hear a little from somebody who has spent quite a long time, a lifetime possibly, out of the country and comes back regularly. And I think too the fact that so many people have come back here today from abroad says a lot about how proud we are of our tradition in Gloucester and how proud we are of our roots, because Leitrim people and Fianna people are very proud, and I suppose the Gloucester people in particular, at least we think we are. So, in the light of that, I think it might be nice to hear a few words from somebody who has been away for a long time, has seen a lot of changes down the years, and has his own memories of Mrs. Wren and Glostermin School and all that went with it. And who better to take on that role today than our own Thomas Murphy from Shrewhaun. Thomas. You're bringing up the rear here.
Good evening, everybody. I've never done this before, so Sister Helen said to me there's a pay, all right. So, and I jumped at the challenge then. But anyway, seriously, they say from an acorn grows a great oak tree, and I can equate that with this big gathering here today. Last year, about this time, the past pupils of Fianna School had a very successful reunion here. And I was up in the cemetery with my sister Betty, who you see amongst us, and Frankie, brother, and we met Angela Wren and her dear mother, Mrs. Wren, our teacher. And I happened to say to Angela, what about our reunion, Glostermin School, Angela? Oh yes, she said, maybe next year we can do that, Frankie, and we can get organised and get it together. And so they did, and they did a magnificent job. They put a wonderful team together who did a wonderful job in research and a lot of hard work, writing to people, finding people's addresses and everything else. Anyway, I suppose I better tell you about immigration. I was reading not so long ago about between 1951 and 1961, more people left Ireland, the same amount of people left Ireland that was born. And of course the people who died in that left a big gap in the population, and it was the lowest in the Republic ever. It was 2.8 million around 1960. But that's all reversed, that trend is all reversed. And I left in 1959, I was about 16 and a half. And I went to Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire for a stay there a short time, then to Luton in Bedfordshire, and a couple of years later I arrived in London. Now if you walk down Kilburn High Road on a Saturday or Sunday, you'd meet at least between 10 and 20 people from Fena. Not from Leitrim, from Fena. You won't meet them now, you'd probably be very lucky to meet anybody from Leitrim. I don't live up there now, but I go up there occasionally. But anyway, there was plenty of work there, and I travelled quite a bit of Europe and Soviet Russia and Middle East. And every time I managed to come back every year. I don't know any year that I didn't come back for and all for the better. In my young days, we had no piped water. You had to go to the well to pump it. We didn't have any telephones. Every house got a telephone now. We didn't have any electricity. You remember lighting the lamp and buying the paraffin or something?
And no
television. Certainly not no television, no. You were looking at a radio, wind dry battery radio. But things changed dramatically over the years, and this is up front with any country in Europe now. It's very modern. It's wonderful to see that, and I hope it goes on increasing and multiplying in wealth and prosperity. Now, it's good to say that the meeting wouldn't be the same without our teacher, Mrs. Rain. It's wonderful to have her here. Also, Mrs. Heaney, who made it possible, made a great effort to come here and be with us. I think I've told you enough about immigration. There's so much wonderful things here now, like your wonderful health service and the way they look after old people, the social services. Things we're very jealous of in England because our national health has fallen to pieces. Only a couple of weeks ago I went to the doctor and I asked him, he said to me, "What's the matter with you?" And I said, "I got terrible pain there every time I cough." And he said, "I can cure that, don't cough." And then he said, "Is there anything else wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, would you hand me to the wind, doctor?" And he said,